I've been on the internet since 2005, I believe. And this today, right now, was the first time I've ever heard of the term mukbang, or that genre of, what you're seeing is someone sitting and eating an exorbitant amount of foods and stuff like that. And 3 minutes into the video, I thought, no. I might have some stuff to say about it. So let's watch together. And this is how Penguinz0 Destroyed Nikocado Avocado, whom I just heard about right now. And I've known about Penguinz0 now for almost 4 days. I'm new, guys. I'm new to that genre of YouTube, or that genre of content, which my time on YouTube up till 2 weeks ago was just some videos about gaming. Almost about 10 to 15% of videos about gaming, and 85% of the content I used to watch was about politics, was about business, was about industrial engineering, technology, and stuff like that. And I was happy, I was content, and then I decided to do that YouTube thingy. So I decided to expand and broaden my horizon and watch other types of content, and I'm learning. So let's watch. All right. So
Charlie's conflict with the morbidly obese YouTuber Nikocado Avocado would go down as one of the most infamous controversies in YouTube history. From clickbaiting his content and faking injuries for views, all the way to filing false copyright strikes on smaller creators, resulting in termination. It goes without saying that Nikocado Avocado has one of the most controversial histories on YouTube. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be looking into the most
just making sure that the song was from his side. I've been watching his videos, that guy, the Internet Anarchist, for 4 to 5 days now. He's good, but today was the first time I've seen his face also. I always just listen to his voice.
Notorious mukbang YouTuber on the platform, Nikocado Avocado, a YouTuber who is willing to do anything for views, even if that means destroying his health, relationships, and getting into a massive controversy with one of YouTube's biggest commentary channels, Penguinz0. Mukbang videos have become an increasingly popular genre on YouTube. The videos involve creators filming themselves eating copious amounts of food while making jokes, telling stories, and developing relationships with their audience. While the niche originally started in South Korea, mukbangs would quickly spread across the globe, with several millions of viewers tuning in to watch their favorite creators binge on junk food.
I'm gonna just tell one thing about me. Food, for me, is one of those activities which I do because I have to, not because I want to or I like to. And food for me isn't a social activity. I hate socializing over food. I truly hate it. It's not that I don't like it, it's not that I'm not comfortable with it. No. I hate it. I hate it from deep inside. Socializing over food. I'm not saying that it's wrong. It's me. It's something with me. I like to eat food as fast as possible, and I like the types of food that I eat that I can do with just one hand without holding it with the other hand. So I can either hold my mobile or hold my PC or my book or anything else with the other hand, and I consume it as fast as possible. Like pizza, I love pizza for that reason. So building a content out of eating in front of an audience and talking while doing so, this is one type of my nightmares.
One of the most infamous mukbang creators on the platform is Nikocado Avocado. Whilst on the surface it may just seem his channel as videos of a morbidly obese man feeding into his habits, it goes a lot deeper. His channel documents the decay of a man willing to risk it all in the pursuit of viral success and internet fame. This very pursuit would be what would land Nikocado Avocado in a massive controversy with Penguinz0, aka Charlie. But Nikocado Avocado wasn't always like this. Nikocado started...
I only saw about 3 minutes 30 seconds of that video so far, and when I first saw the guy, that image, because I've seen the fat image in the beginning of the video and then saw him and while he was slim, and I went like that. I didn't believe that they were the same guy. And there is another surprise. There is another surprise you'll see right now.
his content creation journey back in 2014, where he would focus on veganism and improving his violin skills. He emphasized the benefits of his plant-based lifestyle and criticized the meat industry. Alongside that, he was a genuinely accomplished violinist, showcasing
An accomplished violinist. I have two violins there. I'm gonna show you because no, you might not believe that actually, but those are my two violins. I'm gonna show you. Easy. There is an acoustic one. I don't know which one is that. I need to mark them. There is an acoustic one and a electric one. I'm just gonna show you, just so you believe how much this makes me angry that someone who, and I'm not saying that fat musicians or fat violinists or overweight or obese musicians, but if you had that skill, because I envy him, because, all right, this is my electric violin. I'm gonna put it back nice and easy. And this is, guys, and I tried learning on both for a long time. And the best that I can do is just my acoustic violin. They're not cheap, but they're not that expensive either. But they're not cheap. And I've tried learning a lot. I bought two for that reason. So if he has that skill, I immediately respect him, because he has a skill that I envy, that I aspire to get. But why would he go into that? Let's watch.
in complex arrangements on his channel. Initially, veganism seemed to be positive for Nikocado, aiding in weight loss and maintaining a slim figure. However, this soon turned problematic. He later revealed in a podcast that veganism brought immediate health issues.
No. And also, I don't think skinny always means healthy. I actually,
That's true.
honestly, Trisha,
Yeah.
everyone sees my old videos when I was skinny, and they think I was just this beacon of health.
Yeah.
I rotted a tooth. I had low B12 deficiency. My drive was terrible.
Really?
He said sex drive there.
Okay.
Terrible.
Wow.
I developed hypoglycemia. I don't know if it's directly related to the veganism, but I never had that before.
Nikocado also found the 2016 online
I am not a health expert. I am just an engineer. I'm a nerd. I'm gonna tell you guys what I do usually. So 2014 I was in the military. So I was bored, you have a lot of time in the military. So what did I do? I read a book about Java programming from scratch. I read 2 books about corporate organizations, corporate organizational structures, and when I got out, I built my first company. I read all of Paulo Coelho's book, and I read a huge book about nutrition. So because I'm just showing that, okay, I was in the military, I wanted to improve my health and my nutrition in the military. So what do? I downloaded a huge book about nutrition, and I read it. So now I have that information. I know that knowledge, but I don't practice it. But I know enough that I know that veganism is not an answer. No matter how much it can be celebrated because it's a fashion, it's a trend, it's not an answer, all right? We are supposed to eat meat. You can't supplement what you get from animals and chickens and fish and all of that with anything else. And even if there were some cases for guys and girls who have been able to sustain themselves with a vegan lifestyle, they are not the norm. They can't be generalized. And whenever you go to an extreme case, especially in stuff like that, you end up, yes, with all what he just said and terrible sex drive and all of that.
online vegan community to be extremely toxic, leading him to abandon veganism and the vegan YouTube community. After a month's break, Nikocado introduced non-vegan mukbang videos onto his channel. Despite initially incorporating meat, his diet remained relatively healthy, often featuring vegetables and rice.
So I'm gonna have, oh, it's not that hot. I'm gonna pick it up with my hand. Oh, yes, look at that.
Despite being new to the genre, Nikocado would find relative success with his first upload, stating, "One of my friends told me to try it out. I thought she was crazy. Who on earth is going to watch me eat food?" Sure enough, my very first mukbang got like 50,000 views in a couple of weeks, which was a lot for me at the time, and everybody was asking, when's the next mukbang?
This was one of the videos that I stopped and I started recording so it can be shared with whoever's gonna watch that. This was my first time ever hearing about mukbang or understanding what the term mean. I'd never heard it before. I never even heard it and didn't understand what it means. No, I've never heard it before, never got close to that genre or any of the ecosystem around it. But here's my problem with the internet. You see, that is my problem with the internet. I'm gonna give you guys some background here. I run a company that over the past 3 to 4 years, we've achieved over 3 million sales. Not $3 million, no. 3 million sales, right? Just so you understand, in the Middle East, in e-commerce. And the way that we do that is that we incorporate a whole lot of technology that uses that part of the internet. So wherever there is an attention, there is traffic. And if we didn't have boundaries, moral and religious boundaries, those 3 million sales could have easily been 30 or even 300 million sales. If we didn't stop ourselves from using nudity, using adult content or stuff like that, and there are those who do that. The way that me and my team and my friends go about our lives is we don't usually consider money our first priority, not even our second, not even our 10th priority. Money is a byproduct. And success for us isn't material success. And that's because we are Muslims. Islam teaches you that. Islam teaches you a lot about food consumption as well, and I'm gonna talk about that, I think, later in the video. But I'm gonna talk here about what he's considering success. He is considering 50,000 human, 100,000 eyeballs watching him do something stupid, do something debasing, do something strange. That's not success. And even if that 50,000 views generated $50,000, it doesn't, but let's assume, that's not success. And going after that, capitalizing on that, that's not a strategy. And I know it's not easy to understand, or it's not easy to imagine that, but it's a very hard lesson. Whoever goes through that road thinking that materialistic success is success ends up in a disaster. So let's watch.
The initial success would turn the one-off video into the main theme of his channel, and with the main theme of his channel being mass food consumption, aka mukbanging, his weight would also begin to increase. In Sunny V2's video covering Nikocado's transformation, he mentioned a case study which revealed a dark psychology behind the seemingly innocent content.
In The Psychology of Mukbang Watching, published in January 2020, the study found that the viewer's vicarious pleasure demanded a large quantity of unhealthy food to be consumed. The authors also claim that mukbang videos affect viewers' perception of food consumption and thinness because mukbangers who are very thin and slim consumed very large portions of food and did not gain weight, which is without a doubt the spell that Nikocado Avocado had found himself under.
With that knowledge in mind,
I didn't understand that. No. I'm gonna go back. Just so I make sure that.
Authors also claim that mukbang videos affect viewers' perception of food consumption.
According to Hong and Park, mukbang videos also affect viewers' perception of food consumption and thinness because mukbangers who were very thin and slim consumed very large portions of food and didn't gain weight. This manipulated viewers' psychology to question their effort to stay fit. Furthermore, Bruno and Chung 2017 emphasized that mukbang influences social and cultural food behavior by altering viewers' food and brand preferences, because mukbangers could make viewers salivate over the meal being eaten by the
consumption and thinness because mukbangers who are very thin and slim consumed very large portions of food and did not gain weight, which is without a doubt the spell that Nikocado Avocado had found himself under.
with that knowledge in mind,
No. Alright, so I'm trying to use myself here as an example. I'd never enjoy watching someone eat. I used to watch MasterChef Australia, specifically. I didn't like MasterChef USA or America. I used to watch MasterChef Australia. Its production quality was beautiful back 2014, 2015. 2013, 2014, 2015, yeah, I used to watch MasterChef Australia. I didn't quite like the scenes where they ate the food that was being cooked or prepared. I don't know if I am outside of the norm here, or I never thought about it. I never thought that watching someone eat is something pleasurable.
it wouldn't be a surprise that Nikocado would begin to introduce not only more food into his mukbangs, but also replace the previously healthy food with fried and processed junk, with each video progressively getting more and more unhealthy.
School life as a kid, it was sad, it was lonely, it was fun. I played violin. I didn't have many friends. I had good friends and I lost them. I got new friends because their clique changed. I wasn't cool enough, or I changed my friends because
It seems like the more weight Nikocado gained, the more emotionally unstable he would become, with his videos going from lighthearted to distressing.
What the
Things would take a negative turn on the 18th of December 2019, when Nikocado would upload a collaboration.
I swear, I don't understand. Is that something that people would watch? Because again, I said I considered myself to. Well, I'm not following it myself. Yeah, I know, but I participate in a lot of activities that people consider popular. I love anime. I have a shelf here over my PC that has Luffy and Zoro and Slam Dunk figurines and lots of anime figurines. So I enjoy anime. Many people enjoy anime. Alright, so I'm a part of that community. I enjoy a lot of types of music. I enjoy a lot of video games. So I'm not so far outside of the norm. But is that something that people would like to watch?
Video with popular mukbang YouTubers Zach Choi and Stephanie Zhu.
I just heard Dory.
I heard like oink. It's not like
Whilst there was nothing alarming about the video itself, it would be the video that Stephanie posted 4 days later that would change the public perception for Nikocado. In the video titled "Why I'm Scared of Nikocado Avocado," Stephanie Sue would share a negative experience working with him and being around Nikocado, with one of the first points she brought up being his alleged manipulation.
The past couple of days have been filled with just a lot of manipulation, in particular manipulating my own words against me to make me do things that I don't want to do and I don't feel comfortable doing.
She would also go on to claim that Nikocado used his platform to bully and threaten her.
And a lot of Nikocado Avocado using his platform to threaten me and to bully me. At this point, my home safety is kind of in question, so normally I wouldn't talk about stuff like this or make a video on it. I've been pretty vocal that a lot of things can just be solved offline, but because of how extreme things have gotten recently, I
Yes,
just
how?
want to share my
What's
side.
happened?
The video was over 47 minutes long and garnered over 15 million views, with comments in
good
support
for
of
her.
Stephanie stating, "He's a full-on bully. What a disgusting excuse of a person. I'm sorry this happened to you, Stephanie. He's the type of friend who keeps track of every bad thing you did during the friendship with screenshots so he can expose you later." As well as, "Nick is so disgusting. The fact that you had to apologize is even more sad. I feel bad for you. You're so strong. Nick is such a bully."
So what
Nikocado
did
was
he do?
already disliked by most, but it would be this video that would turn the entire mukbang community against him, with his channel's growth taking a complete stop for the following 2 months.
Again, I don't know
Despite
what
all of the negative attention, Nikocado's views didn't go down. They actually increased, which reinforced the idea that any attention is good attention for his channel, as within
Alright, so I don't understand exactly what he did to her. Okay, I mean, being just a bad friend is far away from her being afraid for her safety in her apartment, as she said. But other than that, I think I'm starting to get some idea. Alright, so whoever is watching that guy is enjoying watching him hurt himself. So the guys who are watching him are sadists. Because he's destroying himself. I mean, if I had an enemy and I'd like to see him suffer, yeah, I'm gonna put him in front of loads of junk food and just see him get a heart attack while eating. But so they're watching him more now because they wanna avenge that girl by watching him destroy himself. Is that it?
In 3 months, he was already seeing significant growth, but with the growth of his channel also came the growth of his belly, as he would go from being very fat to very, very fat, which would lead to Nikocado going on Drama Alert to discuss his various weight problems.
You gotta get on a diet, man. If you're bending over to pick up a sock and spraining your ankle, you gotta lose some weight, buddy.
I mean, there's some problems, definitely. I can't see my anymore when I pee. I have to
Oh my God.
see what's going on down there. You know, there's a lot of different issues. Sleeping can be a little rough. I have to sleep with this big old machine to pump some air into me. You know,
Oh my
because my
God.
double chin is literally choking me to death. So I mean, there's some struggles for sure. But I think I should be fine.
It's just gonna keep getting worse, buddy.
His health would continue to further deteriorate.
Does he need someone to tell him
leading a
that?
video
Does he need someone to tell him that it's gonna get worse?
titled "Returning to the Hospital, I'm Scared," where in the video, Nikocado would address his recent health concerns with his viewers.
So, in the thumbnail of the video, that he's returning to the hospital because he's scared. His house is full of food.
Burst hernia. Now, probably broken. We have to see what they say. I'm hoping it's like, well, it's, I don't know. Ouch! Ouch! Okay, keep my arm still, Nick. I'm hoping it's just one of those things that's like, it's a minor crack, but it'll heal in a week. I don't know anything about this. Ouch! It hurts to burp. Oh my God, my career is gonna come tumbling down.
By this point, the entire internet was growing concerned for Nikocado. Despite having a
Why?
polarizing history on the platform, no one wanted to watch this man eat his way into a coffin in real time. This leads us to where Penguinz0, who I'll be referring to as Charlie, enters the video. On the 30th of September 2021, Charlie would upload a video titled "This YouTuber is slowly killing himself for views,"
Yeah.
where he would talk about Nikocado's descent into morbid obesity.
I'm sure you've heard of. I've talked about him before. A lot of people have. He's been a big name on YouTube for a while. His name's Nikocado Avocado.
Never heard
If you're
of
on
him
Twitter,
before.
You've probably seen hole floating around pretty often. For some reason, it was a big trend in meme to just post Nikocado Avocado OnlyFans content all over Twitter. So I've seen his hole more times than I've seen him doing his mukbangs. For those that don't know,
Okay, so I think now there is more reasons that I've never heard of him before. I've had my doubts while watching him that he's he's not a manly man, you know. He's not a manly man. But now that he has OnlyFans, so he's my doubts are confirmed.
No, Nikocado Avocado is a mukbang YouTuber. It's primarily what he does. Mukbangs are when you just eat on camera, and that's about it.
Later in the video, Charlie would showcase Nikocado's recent unusual content.
This is from his most recent video. This is kind of what his content has become.
I wouldn't have become disabled if it weren't for you people who encouraged these videos. This is the $6, this is the $10. Ouch! My ribs! How many months are we gonna have to endure this pain? Alright, let's go for this. Ooh. This definitely looks cheesier. This one. And I'm allergic to this one too. Oh. But sometimes in life you just want what you can't have. I'm not allowed to have garlic. Or lots of onions. Or durian.
Now, to anyone that's familiar with this creator, you'll probably think that this is nothing special. This just looks like every other video he's ever made, just with less crying. You've probably even seen Nikocado Avocado around other parts of the internet. If you don't even know who he is, you've probably seen some of his clips. He usually will eat something and then just start breaking down into tears and crying about something. He's notorious for constantly crying.
This is where Charlie begins to make his main points on Nikocado, the first of which being how he blames his audience for his weight gain.
Outside of making some of the most revolting noises I've heard in quite some time while undergoing some kind of exorcism. He said, it's your fault for encouraging these videos. Now, he says shit like this pretty often, and it shows me that there's still some self-awareness deep within him somewhere, locked deep away. But that rational side of him he keeps buried, locked in a cage, and still does this content.
Following this, Charlie
I believe him. I actually believe Charlie or Penguinz0 or Moist Critical. That guy has so many names, more than mine. I thought I had many names, but yeah. I don't think that he's insane. He's aware of what he's doing. But yes, the viewers are. He's aware of what he's doing, but the viewers are encouraging him. And you can't ask the internet to have a consciousness. Conscious is other than consciousness. You can't ask the internet that. Let me explain to you what the internet is. First time I've opened an internet browser, I was 15 years old. 16 years old. First time I've ever opened an internet browser, I was 16 years old. Which means I've already had a full formed personality before ever going on the internet. Facebook for me is still a new thing. Facebook for me came when I was in the second or third year in college. So, why am I saying that? Every human on that planet has a dark side that they love to hide, and they know that it exists, and they wish that it can be fixed, and they keep fighting with every day, and some days they win, and some days that dark side wins. That dark side is 90% of the people aliases and behavior on the internet, because they're hidden. No one is gonna know who you are or what you're watching. So let me again say, on YouTube you have windows. Each YouTube thumbnail is a window that you can peek through. And no one will check your watch history in YouTube. It's yours. So, that dark side takes over in you. The things that maybe if you're walking down the street and you've seen someone like that guy sitting on a pavement somewhere and eating and consuming 6-7 pizzas, you might not stand and watch him. You'll immediately, before you think that you have other stuff to do, no. You will think, I'm afraid that someone will watch me watching this guy. You will feel embarrassed, ashamed of standing there. You have some image to uphold, so you will walk away. There, you beat your dark side. That curiosity of your dark side has been beaten by your fear of accountability. When you're sitting at home at whatever 9 p.m., 10 p.m., whenever you just sit by yourself and, lie in bed and open your phone and scroll on YouTube, and you see a thumbnail of the same guy eating the same pizzas, then you open the video and you start watching, not because you enjoy it, but because you're curious. You wanna see something that you usually wouldn't do. You wouldn't see. You wouldn't spend time consuming. And then the internet turns that into money. Attention turns into traffic. Traffic turns into ads. Ads turns into money. Money turns into motivation for that guy to continue doing what he's doing. And the cycle continues. And then that guy meets his dark side, which is love for money, need for money. And most of those like him don't have anything else in their life. So he goes into a whole other fight with himself that, that's the world. It's all gone to shit. So I might end up dying while eating pizzas because, others are dying in wars in the Middle East or in Ukraine or wherever. Right? Then, guys, then and only then, you know that without that doctrine or that, moral codex that you get with religion or you get with... Well, if you don't find it in religion, you will try and read so many books, but if you go down that rabbit hole, you will come on the other side and know that there should be religion somewhere. And without that, you get that. Yeah, I'm biased. I'm Muslim. I'm biased, of course.
Of Nikocado, and the reason why his transformation is partially his audience's fault.
Nikocado Avocado didn't start as this kind of channel. Even 4 years ago, 2017, so 4 years ago now, he was a very healthy person. He seemed to be pretty mentally, sound. He wasn't breaking down.
No, that's the thing here. That's the thing. I'm gonna ask a very strange question here. When does a serial killer become a serial killer? Or when does a criminal become a criminal? It's some Minority Report theory here. I'm not gonna say always, alright? But it's a vector. It's a direction. It's a path that they're on. He was on that path to becoming what he is right now, or what he is in that video. There should have been those that are around him, someone somewhere to tell him, bro, you're on a path. It's someone that could have shown him the choice. But, I don't think he would have listened.
Down on camera all the time and going wild and crazy from what I remember. He was even extremely good at an instrument. I think it was the violin, if I remember correctly. He was a vegan. He was just preaching some really positive stuff. But then he started to notice that the videos that gained a lot of traction were videos where he was just fucking gluttonous and eating 1,000,000 calories per sitting. So he stuck with it. And now he has a couple of channels where he does this pretty much every day, and it's been like this for the last 4 or so years. This is what he used to look like in 2017, and then when the videos really started to gain traction, he gained over 200 pounds in the last couple of years. And it's absolutely true. It's the audience's fault for this. They created what Nikocado Avocado has become. Obviously, it's not all their fault. He is making the conscious decisions to completely throw away his health and well-being, which has now led to his disability, which he claims to have. Again, Nikocado Avocado is not the most reliable narrator. He makes a lot of shit up sometimes. So, whether or not he actually now has a disability, it's anyone's guess.
Later in the video, Charlie would discuss the various injuries Nikocado claimed to have.
He claims to have 3 broken ribs, which is attributed to his incredible weight gain. Incredible being the wrong word, really just astonishingly upsetting weight gain that he's been putting on recently. He claims that the weight of his body has now broken a few of his ribs, which now has him bedridden. I think he also claimed to now have to have a full-time nurse in order for him to just engage in day-to-day activities. And he also has been diagnosed with sleep apnea, I believe, which is why you'll see on his most recent thumbnails he has like that machine hooked up to his nose that makes him look like some kind of like cyborg from the future or something.
But next, Charlie would make the main point of the video, that Nikocado Avocado is ultimately deleting himself for YouTube views.
It seems to really be going downhill quickly for him. People have been saying for the last couple of years that Nikocado Avocado is literally killing himself for YouTube views, and it's absolutely true. He is slowly killing himself and documenting the journey the entire time, while having an understanding of exactly what he's doing. He's well aware that he is throwing away his health, his well-being, his happiness, for the sake of some YouTube views, because his audience continues to eat it up.
Towards the end of the video, Charlie would go over Nikocado's sad attempts at losing weight and his disability due to it. For those of you who aren't aware, Charlie has a bachelor's degree in human sciences and physiology, which gives him a level of credibility when discussing health-related topics.
I didn't know that. You know, that guy seems credible on so many occasions, and now I understand why. I didn't know that actually. Alright.
He's also been saying for a little while now that he's going to be losing some weight. His weight loss journey has begun, but what ends up happening is for every pound he loses, he gains 10 more. I didn't play much of the video here, but he even mentioned that. He even goes on to say after the "your fault" speech that he started his weight loss and he lost a pound but then gained 3 more because he wanted to please his audience with more videos or something like that. So it's just truly a pretty awful thing to see.
The final point of Charlie's video highlights how both critics and fans who view Nikocado's content inadvertently fuel his tendencies to push the boundaries even further, creating a dangerous cycle of turning his unhealthy behavior into a source of income.
The last 6 days he's posted a video each day talking about his disability and his new diet with it, and each one he has tons and tons of food from different places, and it's not clickbait. He really eats all of that food. Very rarely does he not finish his plate. He usually finishes it or gets very close to it. Almost nothing goes to waste. It goes right into Nikocado Avocado's guts. And one thing you may have also noticed from that
so it goes to waste. So it goes to waste, right?
Screenshot is his views are high, which is exactly why he does it. Yeah, most of them have more dislikes than likes, but even on the one I showed you, that's still like 4,000 likes. So there are 4,000 people dropping a fat like, leaving an encouraging comment, and he's usually...
Because of his dark side. People have a dark side, and because of his dark side. Also, guys, if every time I've been talking, I've been looking that direction, it's because I have 3 monitors here, and I have a camera. My camera is here, but I'm watching mainly here. I have my OBS recording here, and I have some other stuff that are working here. And I make that mistake that when because I'm still getting used to that. When I'm talking to you guys, other than looking here, I look at myself and watch myself. Whoa, I'm just too handsome talking. So sorry for that. I'm working on it and adapting.
Peddling some merch, so the shirts you see him wear, he immediately pins in a comment for you to buy them, and I imagine he sells quite a few shirts. Even the people that get in there just to dislike or just tune in to watch the train wreck, that's more views for him. That's more engagement. That helps him, and that keeps him on this wagon, keeps him going.
The video would go on to gain over 16 million views, and spoke the words that many of the YouTube community was silently thinking. But unlike your typical expose or generic commentary video, Charlie's dissection of Nikocado Avocado had a sombering tone, one that felt like he was genuinely concerned for Nicocado's well-being and future, and the comments would reflect this. I feel so bad for Nick, he probably thinks he won't die.
No?
This is insane. I've seen his clips here and there, didn't realize just how unhealthy he'd become over.
I mean, well, great what Charlie said, of course. But I think it's obvious because it happens a lot. I mean, I've seen it so many times. This is depression, right? No matter how you dissect it or how you look at it, it's depression because he's dealing with it by hurting himself more. I think this is depression. I'm not a specialist, but I've seen so many depressed guys do the same, and girls. They eat themselves to oblivion, and it's not for views even. I think the views are fueling it. The views are making him even more conflicted, because if he stopped doing that, then what he's gonna do? So, but he's depressed, I think.
The last couple of years. Since I haven't really followed it, I don't see this stopping before it's too late. Very sad. As well as every single second I see of him makes me feel terrible. Hope he gets the help he desperately needs. Despite the overwhelming amount of comments wishing the best for Nikocado, he would ultimately view the video as a direct attack, leading to a defensive response video the same day titled "My Response to Penguinz0's Video About Me, Disabled Mukbang." The video would start with Nikocado claiming that Charlie said he didn't have the right to exist due to his weight.
This person thought it would be cute to sit down on the computer and talk about my weight and my appearances and to fixate on how I look, as if I don't have the right to exist because I happen to be a little overweight, because I happen to have a little water weight, because I happen to be a little fluffy. This is an unfluffy person. Unfluffy!
Following this, Nikocado would share how despite looking healthier and skinnier in his older photos, he was actually extremely unhealthy.
He said something about me being vegan. Oh, look, he was so skinny. And he showed photos of me when I had just rotted a tooth out of my face, had to get surgery, had such low iron levels that I was anemic, that I had low libido, that I had brain issues.
Nikocado then highlighted how Charlie, at no point in his video, requested his audience to refrain from harassing him about his appearance or weight.
Hey, by the way, we're only in this video for like a couple of minutes. He didn't ask his millions of followers, don't harass him, don't make fun of his appearance, don't make his mental health upset, send him some support for... No.
I've seen guys like that. I've seen guys like that, and it's not just about food. I've seen guys like that do the same with smokes, cigarettes, drugs, and all other types of addictions that at a certain point they stop giving him the pleasure that he used to get. That dude is not enjoying what he's eating. No way. It's impossible. It's chemically impossible. It's physically impossible. It's biologically impossible. After a few bites, that's it. And for him, the activity of chewing itself and swallowing and getting choked on that food becomes the drug itself. And he keeps at it because it's what he got, or what he programmed himself to do. He kept doing it so much that now it became what he does, and if he doesn't do it, he feels something strange, and It's addiction. And like cancer, exactly like cancer, that's mental cancer. Not brain cancer, no. Mental, emotional cancer. Because what cancer does, just as a background, I spent 2 years as a research assistant, algorithm design and analysis research assistant in epigenetics work and drug synthesis and stuff like that. So I know a little bit about cancer and I know a little bit about biology, you know. So cancer does that thing. A tumor mimics the behavior of an organ, a human organ, and then hijacks the blood supply. So rather than your blood going to feed your healthy organs, no. The tumor mimics the behavior of an organ and then hijacks that blood supply. And why your body doesn't attack it? Because, well, it attacks back. If you take a drug to fight cancer, it fights back as if it is you. As if, God forbid that any of you guys have anything like that, but it fights back as if it is real body. Exactly like he is doing right now. If that guy, what Charlie has done, he's trying to help. He's telling you, bro, you have a disease. Now the disease is talking. Nope. I'm the healthy guy. And we do that. We all do that. On a degree. To a degree. Every time, think about it, every time you were doing something wrong, not studying when you should have been studying, not working when you should have been working, not going to the gym when you should have been going to the gym, stuff like that. And you had a friend, a close friend, a parent, a sibling, someone coming to you and telling you, bro, be careful, you need to do such and such and such. And you, first thing you do is, no, I'll defend, It's because our dark side hijacks our emotions and our ego. So that's what this dude is doing.
Nikocado would then make the claim that Charlie was trying to sensationalize his unfortunate situation for views.
He doesn't need
the numbers on the screen. Bigger number, better person. Everyone's so desperate to squeeze as much milk as possible from those beautiful...
Oh! Let's look at his thumbnail, shall we? Let's see what he's trying to achieve with my face like this and a title like this. This YouTuber is slowly killing himself for views. So, are you trying to play the high and mighty game all on your pedestal? That you're not trying to squeeze something out of something? Yes, let's sensate.
Well, it has to be not like that. I mean, I am doing it right now. I have no idea when or where someone is gonna be watching this video. I have no idea if I'm gonna upload it even. I'm doing all of that just as a way to have a voice because I felt so weak with what was happening in the Middle East that even after my financial success, my moderate financial success as someone my age, in my area, in my line of business, I still felt weak, felt unable to do anything because, well, my voice was only heard by guys like me who spoke my same language, who believed in the same things that I believe in, and talking to each other wouldn't have changed anything. I need to talk to other people. I need to talk louder. That's why I'm doing that. So I'm trying to gain impact, influence. Trying to gain wealth or money is the same. And for us to do that, whether we meant well or we meant wrong, we all have to play by the same rules. He can't blame Charlie for using a thumbnail, or if he was doing it himself, or he had an editor who does it for him. But you can't blame him for that. You can't blame him for breathing. Being on the internet as a content creator requires some things. All of the content creators on the internet, everyone has to do the same things. You have to we all have to compete for attention. But some will have some moral boundaries where they stop. I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not gonna delve into things that I know are, well, in my case, haram. In my case, I'll never do something that is haram on the internet. Hopefully, I hope. Others has moral boundaries. But we all have to do the same. We have to compete for attention.
Sensationalize things about me at my expense. I don't even know who you are.
Nikocado would reiterate on the fact that his health can't be judged by how skinny he is, stating,
First of all, who are you to say that I was healthy? Because I was skinny. Does skinny equal healthy? Yes or no? Can you look at a person and say, oh, you're thin, therefore you must be healthy? You don't know what my blood work looks like. You don't know what my organ looks like. Let me tell you something. I might have been skinny, but I lost a tooth. I leached calcium from my bones. I had bad health because I was deficient and...
Bro, you've been on the other extreme. I mean... his argument is... Well, his argument is his argument. I mean, he's laying the argument. He doesn't need an example to... I don't need an example to make someone understand it. You've been eating wrong, and now you are eating wrong. They are two extremes. You've come from here to here, which every extremist does. You need to come there, in the middle. But...
various nutrients on vegan diets that nearly sent me to the hospital. And I had problems with my liver. I had iron deficiency. I was supplementing B12 and couldn't retain it, and I had to get injections in my butt. And I had a low libido. But because I was thin, you have the authority to let everyone know that I was perfectly healthy. I was very healthy, and now he's destroyed his body.
Nikocado would then state that one of the photos Charlie displayed to show him as healthy was actually shortly before he went to a hospital.
This video, I was on an orange juice fast.
You shouldn't!
I was so underweight, that I had to go to the hospital on an IV. This photo here, you can see every bone in my body. I'm smiling, I'm skinny, but this shallow individual, apparently that's all that matters. And that means that since I've gained a little extra weight, I might be a little bit fluffy. But that means that he needs to circle around and be like, well, he's so fat, he's dying. He's dying. Did I ever say I was dying? Did anyone else say that? What? Who? My doctors, my dietitian. I have a dietitian looking after me, mister.
Later in the video, Nikocado would claim that Charlie was spreading misinformation by making the claim his disabilities are from his diet, when according to Nikocado, they were due to pre-existing health conditions. Another key argument Nikocado made was claiming that Charlie didn't do enough research before diving into a dedicated video on the topic.
If you were an actual viewer, which you're not, which is fine, but then usually you do a little research before you make content on your page. It's fine if you don't view me regularly, that's fine. That's fine. Leave a comment, leave an opinion, but to make a dedicated video to send people to me, if you watch, you would know that I barely eat. I barely eat my food. I eat till I'm full. I know I indulge a little bit. I'm a little bit overweight. I'm a little bit on the fluffy side. I made jokes out of it. It's just water weight. I know it's not mostly it is water, but yeah, there's a little non-water in there. But I have big presentations because this is fun. I like it big. I like it exciting. I like to taste test different things. I like various options. What if I don't like what I'm eating? There's something else to grab from. I like making this a treat for the viewers. I come every single day to share stories and to entertain people and share my life, to share someone else's life, to talk about whatever, to talk about the food.
You know, that word that he just said triggered me. Entertain. Entertainment isn't a goal. I'm gonna say it, and it's one of those things that I know are against the grain, you know, that the internet, most of the internet is alright with having entertainment as a goal. If I am an entertainer, then, well, I've done my part. That's it. No. Entertainment is exactly equal to what made the internet as terrible a place as it is right now. Because entertainment has no regulations, has no boundaries, has no standards, has no definitions. What's entertaining for someone might not be entertaining for someone else. And what's entertaining for many can be disgusting, terrible, and just bad, just plain bad. So entertainment isn't a goal. And even if you entertain some, that doesn't make you, well, accomplished.
To help people calm down after work, to give someone a laugh when they're going through a divorce.
No!
I'm there for people
No.
every day. It's not even about the food. It's really not. I barely eat. That's the #1 criticism I get, actually.
Despite the video actually having some decent arguments, it would be received extremely negatively, garnering 73,000 dislikes in comparison to just 14,000 likes. And the comment section would reflect this, with viewers stating, "Skinny doesn't equal healthy, vegan doesn't equal healthy,
You know, guys,
constantly doing mukbangs certainly does not."
I'm gonna let you on something. You wanna know how to hurt a content creator? You wanna know how to express your anger, your disliking of a content creator? Number 1, don't watch any of his stuff. Number 2, don't comment. Number 3, don't share, don't talk. Neglection kills. If you hate a content creator so much, don't even hover over his thumbnail. Writing a bad comment or a negative comment on a content creator is the same as giving him money. There is no bad engagement on the internet.
Equal healthy either. There's no way this is who you truly are, Nikocado. People just want to see you exist for a long time. Charlie's intentions were to help you, not attack you. As well as, Charlie is not making fun of you. He is genuinely concerned for your health. The following day,
by the
Charlie
way,
would upload a video.
Especially in this guy's case, if you want to help him, don't give him attention. Sorry for saying that. I have no idea if he's gonna watch that. I don't think so. I'm just starting. I have barely 50 views on most of my videos. But I swear, if you want to help someone who is addicted to the attention and the views, don't give him attention and the views. He will have to find something else to do. He might do a series about going to the gym or something.
Video titled My Response to Nikocado Avocado, where he would admit his wrongs and also create counter arguments to Nikocado's video.
That there are some things that he does bring up that I think are definitely worth talking about. But first of all, I'd like to say congratulations to Nick. It looks like his broken ribs are healing pretty well because he starts this video by stomping into the room. And I also checked his TikTok. He's been going kind of hard, so it looks like his broken ribs seem to be doing better now.
Fiddlesticks! Who is this?
The first point Charlie made was in regards to Nikocado's alleged broken ribs.
In regards to his broken ribs, in his response video he said I was completely lying and that his broken ribs had nothing to do with weight gain, which surprised me because I actually got that information from one of his recent videos. I'll just go ahead and play you the clip.
And before you make fun of me, please try to put yourself in my shoes. I cracked my ribs. Bitch. Fuck this fucking air sack from coughing excessively for over 2.5 months and my obesity, all 350 pounds of force. Ouch!
I didn't reach into my butthole and pull this out of nowhere. I got the information from him, so I don't understand why in his response video he makes it sound like I'm lying about so many things. Like, he himself said his cracked ribs were the result of coughing for the last 2 months and his obesity, 350 pounds of pressure, or whatever he said there. I didn't make that claim. I didn't make that up. It came from him, and you can just click on this video and it's right in the intro. So I don't know why he would say something like that in the response video.
One of Nikocado's biggest critiques of Charlie was how he never tried to stop his audience from sending hate towards him, which Charlie would later respond to.
But anyway, now to actually talk about the things Nick brings up that I think are very important to talk about. First of all, he talks about the people that went from my video to his to just be assholes. I always openly condemn this, and I should have again said don't go harass him, because it looks like people need a constant fucking reminder to not...
Even if he said people will go and harass him. The bro is putting a bullseye on his back. By being as he is putting a bullseye on his back, and he knows that, he's aware of that. He's feeding on that. But I think because of the internet as how it is, Charlie has to respond this way because you just have to say it. But I think we all know it's logic. It's logic, guys.
Not fucking harass people. You're not some kind of internet vigilante fighting for justice. That angry comment you left on Nick's video isn't going to help him. You're just being a fucking douchebag. And that's, I completely sincerely apologize for overlooking the fact that I need to remind people how to behave online. I always hate, absolutely fucking hate. I've made 2 different videos on how much I hate when people go and harass people.
Wow, I haven't subscribed to this guy yet.
YouTube videos and shit. It sucks.
Subscribe.
It fucking sucks. 100%. And Nick is absolutely in the right in calling that out.
Following this, Charlie would hint towards the idea that Nikocado may have intentionally misrepresented his original video in order to boost engagement and create an aggressive response.
It's clear immediately that Nick misunderstood what I was saying in my video. I don't know if that's on purpose just for the sake of having like an aggressive response video for YouTube drama, or if he genuinely didn't understand what I was trying to say. But he makes it clear that he didn't get what I was going for.
Charlie would also call out Nikocado for creating arguments that he never made.
I'm being attacked for my weight, for my appearance. Apparently, I'm encouraging people to eat unwell. Excuse me.
I don't even understand at all where that last thing came from. I never made any point like that or even hinted at anything like that. I never said like Nikocado Avocado is a role model and he's encouraging people to eat like he does on camera. I never said anything like that. I never said that he's setting some kind of example for people to follow. All I was saying is the success he found with mukbangs has reinforced his decision to eat this way.
Charlie would follow it up by clarifying the reason that he showed old photos of Nikocado.
As far as appearance goes, me showing his 2017 body compared to his most recent one was used to show what the food is doing to him. If he was skinny and eating the way he does on camera, I would have the exact same criticisms. Because even when you're skinny, you can be very unhealthy, which is a point he makes. I wasn't saying skinny is the gold standard. He also brings up some demons from his past that I didn't know about. I didn't get the full extended lore of Nikocado Avocado. I was under the assumption that he was healthier back then because, contrary to what he says in the video, I am very familiar with him. I've watched his content for a while. I've watched the transformation, but apparently I've missed some arcs along the way in his anime.
One of Nikocado's main arguments was that the photos Charlie chose were actually taken during times that Nikocado was facing serious health conditions, to which Charlie would respond saying,
he mentioned back during those days with the photos I showed he had an eating disorder, even mentioned a tooth rotting out, and that he generally didn't feel like he was healthy back then. And I didn't know any of those things. What I saw on camera was him eating healthy food, preaching about healthy food options and lifestyles, as well as fitness and stuff like that. So I was under the impression that he was healthy during those days, but maybe he wasn't. But he's also not healthy now. I'm not Nick's dad. I'm not here to slap the fucking cheeseburgers out of his hand or anything. I showed these photos because it shows a complete transformation from one body type to another, and it shows that there is still an eating disorder present. And I feel like it's...
The body transformation is not the disease. It's a symptom. Alright? That he has something else. He needs to... I think I would love, I might search for it if he has the video with I think it's called Dr. K, right? That the guy from Healthy Gamers GG. He's a Harvard doctor, a Harvard med, and Harvard MD. So yeah, I'd like to see him taking a deep dive into that guy's psyche if he's willing to. But the reasons that we're, by the way, there is an argument that why are you talking about all of that? What it's not my business. Well, the moment that you upload a video to YouTube and you specifically make that video public, it's everyone's business. Okay, so there is also that point here about why the dude Nick is talking about Charlie is making a video about them. The moment that you make a video public on YouTube or any other internet platform for that reason, when there is a piece of content that you put out there that is public, it's everyone's business if they want to. And yeah, that's the internet.
Reinforced by his audience on YouTube that encourage it, which is something he mentions in his videos from time to time. He says things like, you guys are doing this, and I think he's right. I think seeing those numbers grow and seeing those big numbers has completely reinforced the idea that in order to be successful, he has to keep eating this way, so he feels trapped to do it. That's the point I was making.
Following this, Charlie would make a counter-argument to Nikocado, stating how mukbang content is possible to do in a healthy way when pulled off correctly, referencing food YouTuber Matt Stoney.
It doesn't have to do with his weight or his appearance, it has to do with what he's eating on camera.
I know a guy who told me a story about his grandfather who smoked until he was 99 years old. Does that make smoking right? No, it doesn't. If someone is doing that mukbang, which I just heard about, and he's still skinny, I'm not gonna say healthy, because healthy here is a vague term, because I don't know about his mind. But if he's still skinny, that's not right, and doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right, and I'm not being, I'm not being illogical, but some things just need to be said and need to be. It can't all be that vague. The internet can't be that fuzzy place that you don't know what's right and what's wrong and what's left and what's right. Some things just has to be said. This is right, this is wrong. And that whole genre is just wrong, plain wrong.
And how often he's doing it. Take, for example, Matt Stoney. Matt Stoney will do these incredible food challenges. He'll eat fucking 20,000, 40,000 calorie meals in a single sitting in under an hour for a YouTube video, and they're fucking awesome. That's nuts to butts action. Matt Stoney eating the fuck out of 20 burritos at a time, double fisting 1,000 tacos per hand. It's incredible stuff, and it's so much.
I was just saying that I like Charlie up till now on some face points, some face point of views, but you see, this is where I'm different. This is where I think no. And please, if 20 guys are gonna watch that video, if 20 million guys are gonna watch that video, just understand this is not a point of view that you should consider believing in. If something is wrong, it is wrong. Think about it. Eating 30,000 calories under an hour, it's not entertainment. And if you are being entertained by that, you need to rethink what you're doing with your life. You know, the only one whom I've seen do such thing was Matt Does Fitness. There is that channel, Matt Does Fitness. He's an amazingly fit guy, but he was doing that to prove something. And actually that helped me to prove that if you eat 10,000 calories per day, and not per meal, per day. I think he's done 10, I think he's done 20, I don't know if he's done any more, but he's doing it. So if you are pursuing a fitness dream of yours, you're trying to get to a certain body fat level, you're trying to build muscles, and you are starting to get paranoid about what you eat and thinking that a slice of pizza or 2 slices of pizza or even a whole pizza is gonna ruin that dream for you, it is not. Yes, he is genetically blessed. That dude is extremely blessed genetically. MashaAllah. But he's right. Having a day that you can consider a cheat day or ruining, your journey, couple of days even, you can come back easily because your body doesn't change in a day. It doesn't get better in a day. It doesn't get worse in a day. It takes time for both of those things. So, no. Mukbang is not a genre of entertainment. Mukbang is just something that is disgusting, that whoever is watching is programming themselves and, getting, by repetition, starting to build receptors in their brain, in their neuroplastic mesh up there. They're building receptors for something that after a certain time it's gonna start giving them dopamine exactly catered to those receptors. It's whole of the same. This is exactly why you can see a decline in every form of, I'm not gonna say art, but every form of performance. You see twerking and they say it's cultural dance. Twerking is sex. Twerking is not cultural dance. Bending nude or bending bodies, that's porn. That's not a form of performance. I mean, if you keep those things named form of performance, an entertainment genre, blah blah blah, you're gonna get that. Because you're gonna find someone who has no moral boundaries, who has no logic up there, and he'll start seeing money out of that, so he will keep doing it and overdo it, and then he'll delete himself doing it.
Food and so many calories, but Matt Stoney does that once every few weeks, once a month maybe. Nikocado Avocado is doing something comparable almost every single day.
Later in the video, Charlie would also combat Nikocado's claims that he was calling him revolting or disgusting.
Making some of the most revolting noises I've heard in quite some time while undergoing some kind of exorcism.
And me. Who are you? I haven't said anything that you're revolting and you're disgusting.
Yeah, I didn't say that about you either, Nick. I was talking about that shtick you do in your videos where you make a yucky noise. That's what I was talking about. And I think you know that, but you tried to use that as a way to spin it like I was calling you revolting and disgusting for your weight or something like that, which I absolutely wasn't. I was talking about that ongoing joke you have where you make noises and faces like that. I was just saying I find that to be off-putting. He calls them a hairball, which is obviously him kidding around, and I just called it gross because I don't really like those noises. And I'm sure he knows what I was talking about here, but just found it to be easy ammunition to make me look really shitty. So he was able to spin it like, look, he's calling me revolting and gross, he's being a big asshole, which I wasn't. I was just talking about that hairball thing that he does.
Charlie would also address his own mistakes in his video, such as when he had the wrong information regarding Nikocado's full-time carer.
He says that I am incorrect about the nurse, the full-time nurse to take care of him, and that's entirely possible. I've tried to keep up with his videos recently to make sure I get the full story, but for me it is very hard to sit through a full mukbang from him because it's just sad to see. I'll just be straight up honest. It's hard for me to watch all of them, so sometimes I'll go to Twitter to read threads about Nikocado Avocado to be kept up to date, and I recalled reading about a nurse that had to be on standby in order to make sure that he was able to go about his activities. This, he has said, is incorrect, so I do apologize for that. That information that I got there was wrong. 100%, and I'll take full responsibility for being incorrect on that point.
Charlie's ability to recognize when he is in the wrong is one of the reasons he became so popular to begin with. However, he wouldn't be happy after Nikocado tried to twist his own words.
One thing he is blatantly wrong about, and I don't know if this is on purpose to make me look bad or something, he keeps saying that I call his viewers fat, or I am constantly talking about him being fat and gross. two things I've never said anywhere in that video. I never said his viewers are fat or insulting his viewers. I was saying his viewers are enabling him to keep doing some of this content. And that I stand by 100%. You can even see it on this response video. There were so many comments saying, don't listen to him, and when are you doing your next big mukbang? I love to watch you eat this and that and that. Like, that's enabling. That's the very definition of enabling. It's enabling a bad habit. And
enabling has so many forms. There is enabling without knowing that you're enabling whoever you're enabling. And there is enabling, and it's conscious enabling. You know that you are enabling someone to hurt themselves more. I'm sure it's plain and simple and it's clear as day. But it's the internet. You know that meme when Michael Scott was standing from the office or was standing on the roof of the building and he was about to jump, and then Dwight down there he's telling them, do a flip. That's it. That's the internet. That scene summarizes a whole lot of the internet. If you are gonna stand on top of a building saying you're gonna jump, there's gonna be those in the comments telling you to do a flip. And that is not just enabling, that's the internet.
It keeps you doing these same things which have had a negative effect on your health. But that's not me all of a sudden saying all your viewers are fat pigs that are gross and yucky, ooh, cooties, yucky, gross pigs in your comments. I never said anything like that. And I don't know why he tries to hint like that. And I think I don't know if it's on purpose or by accident. I think it's supposed to like make his viewers mad at me, like, can you believe what this guy is saying about us? Which I never did.
To conclude the response, Charlie would make one final point about the breathing machine that was present in all of Nicocado's recent uploads. A machine which Nikocado made it seem like was necessary to use during the day.
Next thing he talks about is this machine that he's had in every thumbnail for like the last 2 weeks. He says he's actually had this since he was a kid and it's nothing new, unrelated to mukbangs and all that. Okay, fair enough. Let's say that's true. Maybe it is. It probably is. I don't see why he'd lie about it. But then why all of a sudden now are you putting it so prominently in every thumbnail and every title talking about being disabled and doing a disabled mukbang? Why are you just now showing this off then? It leads your viewers to believe that the situation's a lot more dire than it is, and you're doing it on purpose. You're trying to garner more sympathy out of the situation by having this machine here. It makes it seem like your health is on a really rapid decline. And I think the reason you're doing that is to get more views on it, because when people see that you're in distress, they want to see what's going on and want to make sure everything's okay. So if you truly have had this machine for that long, why are you all of a sudden now showing it off like this in the context of being disabled? So it's pretty fucked up.
Charlie's response would garner an overwhelmingly positive reception from the YouTube community, amassing over 14 million views coupled with over 825,000 likes, with comments stating, "I like how mature and calm Charlie handles these kind of situations. He just genuinely concerns for Nick. Nicocado's persona makes me so uncomfortable. Watching a grown man act like an upset toddler is so wrong." As well as, "A wise man once said, never argue with an idiot. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience." From this point onwards, the drama would take a turn for the worse, with Nikocado attempting to completely milk the situation, uploading a second response video the following day, where he'd react to Charlie's response and repeat the points from his original video. He would even promote his cameo when Charlie critiqued him for not taking the situation seriously.
Never out of character anymore, it seems. So this response is not him being genuine or taking it seriously.
Click the link below and get yourself a cameo where I'll make a special video just for you. Treat yourself or surprise someone else.
That clip would go on to set the tone for the video, as Nikocado deflected and danced his way around Charlie's arguments, with the video making very little points to prove him wrong.
So that guy has a cameo, which means he's, I hate to say it, but a celebrity. It's not a celebrity, he is infamous. And there will be always those who will pay to use him. Throughout the ages, people paid for clowns, for jesters. And they will exist to the end of time. I'm never gonna go and argue with a clown. Or argue against a clown. But I will argue those who will stand and laugh. I'm not gonna argue against or argue with or against those who will hire a clown even. There is no reason, there is no point in me doing that because they are conscious about that, about what they're doing. So the clowns know that they are clowns and that they are getting not paid or livelihood. That's their life now. They decided, they went all in. They are clowns. Those who hire the clowns know full well that they are enabling and that they are paying that dude for whatever. But those who are just passing by, you know, and saw that scene, saw a clown standing in the street doing some things, doing some clown things. Those guys actually might think that, I'm not a clown, and I didn't pay for the clown. I'm just curious and I'm just watching. Those are the guys that I'm talking to. Please don't do that. Please, if you... This is the only video I've ever seen about that guy, and I'm not gonna click and try and find more. And that video for me is not the whole thing here. That video here, this is not the topic. This is the tool for me to say that concept. I know I'm just one voice and I have, and I don't know how many views that video is gonna get. I've been saying that so many years now, in Arabic, on Facebook, to my friends and followers on Facebook who are Egyptians and Arabic speakers. And I've been saying it for years, and now I'm saying it in English on YouTube. You are to blame, even if what you've done is just hover over a thumbnail for a couple of seconds. You are to blame. If you don't tell your friend who clicked that video that he shouldn't have clicked, you are to blame. If you click that video yourself, you are to blame. If you watch it, you are to blame. Yes, you are to blame. And I am to blame for not saying it earlier, and for not saying it enough, and for not saying it louder. You know, there is that command in Islam. It's repeated in the Quran, and it's something that God tells us as Muslims and as humans, plain and simple and direct, that there have been nations and there will be nations all over time that existed and that they're gonna die, they're gonna end, just because of one thing, that they didn't say no to the wrong things, and they didn't say yes and try to share the good and the right things. I'm gonna say it in Arabic. كانوا لا يأمرون بالمعروف ولا يتناهون عن المنكر, which is translated to, those nations did not push and suggest and recommend doing the good things, and they did not prohibit and, you know, frown upon or just say no to the bad things.
Or to even take him seriously. Following the response, Nikocado would attempt to clickbait Charlie's channel name, Penguinz0, in the titles of several videos, such as Eating Like Penguinz0 Critical for 24 Hours, Penguinz0 and Mr. Beast Ruined Me, and Penguinz0's brainwashed fans won't stop.
Oh no! Oh wait, oh shit, oh jeepers, oh.
The content itself wasn't anything out of the usual for Nikocado.
I'm not laughing because that's entertaining. I just need you to understand, guys. I am not laughing because this is humorous or entertaining or it's funny. I'm laughing because this is where life is right now. There are those in Egypt, in the Middle East, who are doing the same as this guy. I've seen similar examples to him on TikTok and Instagram, and it shows that. And I say that, and I've been saying it in Arabic for so many years now. And I'm laughing because everyone just letting it be. And it goes to that. The sun is up there. I mean, it's so clear. This is the sun. And people are just like, no, that's not the sun. There is nothing up there. Keep doing what you're doing.
Clickbaiting Penguinz0, he would go back to posting his regular content as usual. Entering 2023, something about Nikocado began to change. He was slowly losing his toddler-like behavior and was actually looking a little skinnier than usual, with viewers taking note of this with comments such as, "I'm happy for him, he's lost tons of weight and he isn't sounding toxic as usual. It's really nice seeing you happy and getting healthy. I love seeing you make positive choices in the right direction. Keep it up." As well as, "I love this video, no antics, just being yourself. Your mood seems great today." On the 25th of April 2023, Nikocado would publish a video titled "How Much I Weigh Now, Pizza Mukbang," where he would share some fantastic news with his audience.
I know I'm skinny, you don't have to tell me. I lost 89 pounds. And look at my arms, oh my god. You don't even recognize me, I know. And this is not pre-recorded.
It would be this positive news that would bring Charlie to once again create a video covering Nikocado, but this time in a very positive and heartwarming light. On the 8th of May 2023, Charlie would publish a video titled "This is Good News." The video would start out with Charlie discussing how Nikocado was supposedly beginning to lose weight, and not just 2 or 3 pounds like he previously joked about, but a respectable 89 pounds.
And now I've recently learned that Nikocado Avocado has been actively losing weight. He posted a new video kind of briefly going over how much weight he's lost, which he claims is roughly around 89 pounds, and I think that is incredible. The weight announcement does come during a pizza mukbang, but 89 pounds down and there's a noticeable difference, he's fucking earned the right to splurge like that. I think that is fantastic. The whole genesis of our controversy stemmed from me finding it sad that he was literally eating himself to death and even making jokes about, like, very morbid stuff revolving around the way he was eating for content. And I've always maintained that it would be amazing to see him start losing the weight. And now to see him actually start taking steps down that path, I think that's fantastic. And I have nothing but amazing things to say about that, and a huge round of applause because there's a lot of hard work that goes into this.
As much as I wanted to end this video on a positive note, things would take a sad twist. On the 28th of October 2023, Nikocado would upload a video to his third channel titled "I Quit My Weight Loss Journey, Time to Get Fat Again." And whilst clickbaiting videos isn't uncommon for him, the pinned comment would confirm that he had indeed regained all the weight he worked hard losing. It's devastating to see him gain back almost all of his weight, with a reply from Nikocado himself stating, "Pinning for the peasants who think this is an old vid, 330 pounds this morning. I don't give a F anymore. Daily videos will return." If you enjoyed this.
What can I say? It's because he kept doing the same thing and people kept encouraging it. I actually had hope, you know. If you're watching my League of Legends games, you'll know that I never lose hope. I always think that even at the very end, something is gonna change and we'll win. So until I'm not gonna check on him, I'm not gonna see if he's actually or where he is at in his journey in life right now, because, well, I'm not gonna do that. But I actually had hope that the video is gonna end on a positive note with him just finding something else to do other than that, other than mukbanging or whatever. Right is right, wrong is wrong. There is no in between. Yeah. Right is right, wrong is wrong, there is no in between. If you live your life thinking that you can walk the very thin lines between rights and wrongs, you will end up with, well, you will end up lost. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Mukbanging is wrong. And it can't be entertainment. This has been a very long video, and 90 minutes. I'm gonna upload it as it is. Sorry for that. I'm gonna upload it as it is, and I'm gonna try and talk more later in other videos about those views of mine that I have about life, because they are not mine alone. I have so many friends like me, and we live our lives and we die, and we think that because we think that we've done the right thing and that we've lived a life that has been in accordance to our religion, that yay, we've done the right thing. And to a degree, yes. But I have a webcam, I have a mic, I have internet. I believe I will be asked, why didn't you say that right was right and wrong was wrong? I do believe that. This is why I'm doing all of that. See you in another video, guys.